Hey guys, today I wanna watch this video that Darth Microtransaction uploaded to his channel. It is called I Asked Raxx and Raxx about Diablo 4. And these are two dudes that I like. I watch their videos. I believe they are cool guys. Their videos are good. So when they go and talk about Diablo 4, brother, I wanna listen to what they have to say. So let's do this, brother. Let's do this.
I used to feel good about myself that I was like playing all the classes multiple times. I'm like, man, I really know this game. And then at some point I just leaned back in my chair and I realized, holy shit, I'm a loser. I'm gonna go play Last Epoch.
Brother, I have to tell you, this guy is insane, by the way. I have one level 100. That is my original druid. And I haven't gotten another level 100 because it is too fucking boring. It is mind-numbingly boring, brother. And this dude has like 10 level 100s. He's insane, brother. When he says he likes to blast, it is no joke. The dude absolutely blasts the fucking game, dude.
How many hundreds did you end up making? And now, because I mean, you have been grinding Diablo 4 more and longer than I think anyone else I've seen. Like, you didn't jump ship at all.
Absolutely. You
sat down every single day and grinded the fuck out of Diablo 4. So how many 100s did you end up with?
I think right now I have 8.5. I wanted 5 on softcore, 5 on hardcore, but I think I have 8.5 right now, I think.
That is insane, brother. That is insane. I have one. And it was a fucking grind, dude. I can't imagine how the fuck you do this. It has to be a fucking torture, dude.
My barb is like 70, and then I just need to do I was saving one of the easiest ones for last. I just do the necro, and then I'd have 10, and then I'd have to delete a 100 to play season 2.
Oh God.
And that is stupid. That is stupid. Why do we have the seasonal characters on the same list of characters as the Eternal Realm? So if you have your Eternal Realm list full, you can't create a seasonal character because your list is full. Is that logical? That is stupid. He had to delete an Eternal character to be able to play the season. The seasonal thing should be unlocked. You can create 5 extra characters or 3 or 10 extra characters for the season, brother. There should be a list for the Eternal Realm and a list for the seasonal character. This is stupid, brother.
Yeah, because we only have 10 character spots, don't we? Including seasonal, right?
Yeah, so the goal is to have to
Which is stupid.
have to delete a 100 to play season 2.
That's a good video. Be like, I quit my level 100, deleting my character. There you go.
So this dude will have to delete a level 100 every time a new seasons come.
Delete the character. 500 million views, just like that. Raxx deletes his character. Got 8.5 level 100s. Okay, so what was the point you started getting bored, but you're like, nah, I want to push through? Because for me, I was starting to get bored, like, by the time I hit my first level 100 druid, and then the Uber Lilith was fun, but it was immediately after Uber Lilith for me. So when I clear the Uber Lilith, and I was like, okay, well, now it's literally just Nightmare Dungeons. That's when I immediately started getting bored.
That is because you wanted to play the same character. Keep playing the same character. No. You are already killed Lilith, brother. Play another character. And then when you create that character, you will have fun for the first 20, 30, 40 levels. And then you are bored again. And then you don't want to play the game anymore. Again, I only have 100. And on the second character, I was having a blast in the first 50 levels. But then you get to grinding Nightmare Dungeons, starting on World Tier 3. And then you are bored and you don't want to keep going, brother. I got to tier 4 and I stopped playing because I don't want to keep going, brother. I already did it one time. I don't want to do it again. And the hearts is not enough. It is not like, I have the hearts. Now I want to blast again. No, you don't want to do it, brother. So I don't know. I don't know how you did it, Raxx, brother. Because this is fucking boring.
I would honestly say for me, it was probably a long time earlier than that. But I play Diablo for really the community. Even when I'm playing SSF, I'm playing to answer questions, talk to chat, have fun, listen to music. So
basically, he was bored the whole time. He was bored the whole time, and he made the sacrifice for the content, for the people to keep playing while being bored.
the gaming experience, and this is kind of sad for me for a long time here, has been kind of like a secondary feature. So I wasn't really exactly having a ton of fun in Diablo 4 straight from the beginning because I knew there was nothing to do.
Sure.
The Uber Lilith challenge with a non-exploit one-shotted build, that gave me like 5 days of fun, just getting pounded.
That is true, brother. You are bored like from in your first character. You are bored from like 80 to 100 because you grinded a lot, but then you go into the Lilith fight and you have to learn the mechanics and do your stuff, and that is fun again. You are having fun again, learning all the mechanics, trial and error, boom, 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 boom. You are having fun again, but then you kill her and you are back to square one.
It was actually quite fun. I mean, the Uber... People talk down about the Uber Lilith fight now. I feel like I see comments of like ragging on it, like, oh, it's not that great or whatever. But I just kind of disagree with you. I thought Uber Lilith was the most enjoyable part of Diablo 4 for me, or at least for...
It is an enjoyable part because you have been grinding nightmare dungeons that are stupid, and then you get to a big fight and, oh, this is awesome, this is fun, and yes, you have fun, but that doesn't make Uber Lilith a good fight, brother. That fight sucks. And the worst thing about the fight, it is not only that the fight sucks, because you could have fun and ignore that fact. It sucks when you compare it to other great bosses in other games. But in Diablo 4, it is the best thing you have. The problem is that it is riddled with bugs. Everything in that fight is a bug. The hitboxes suck. The camera zoom, the zoom of the camera sucks. You don't know when it is going up, when it is going down. Everything sucks in that fight, brother. Sometimes he spawns the spikes in a way she shouldn't spawn them. It is, you have to fight her and fight the box. It is stupid, brother.
For me, I know it's not gonna be for everyone, but like getting destroyed by Uber Lilith and actually having to, you know, get good, like learn it. And granted, I did with Bone Spear, so you know, I wasn't as hard as, you know, doing it like a fucking rogue or something. But it was still like you had to get good and dodge the waves and learn the mechanics and all that. And took me like 13 to 18 hours or something, right around there. It was less than 20 hours to beat the whole thing, and that was the best part of Diablo 4 out of all of it, bar none. Uber Lilith was like the peak of my enjoyability.
Yeah, I mean, I watched your progression there. I actually didn't. The only part I didn't see was you actually kill her, but your progression was very good on the boss. One thing that a lot of people do, one thing that's super in fashion, is the whole internet likes to talk shit about Blizzard about everything that they do. Yeah. So they'll even make fun of Uber Lilith, this and that, and this and that.
I know you could say this is Blizzard is to blame. They destroy their reputation to the point that whatever they do, even if it's good, people are going to cheat on them. But then people, guys, don't be unreasonable either. If they do something cool, if they do something good, even if they are Blizzard and they suck, give it to them. Hey, credit where credit is due, brother. But I know Blizzard is to blame. They destroyed their reputation to the point that players don't have trust. They don't trust them. They don't have hope in anything they do. And even when they do something cool, people find a way to trash them.
Blizzard does some things well. Like, for example, Blizzard can definitely design bosses. When, you know, it wasn't necessarily that Uber Lilith was the problem. It was the builds that were broken. They made Uber Lilith essentially a beta testing arena where we would just test the bugs of builds.
True.
But if ever...
That is true. The buggy builds that just basically one-shot her and trivialize the fight are a problem. And let's be honest, that is the way that the majority of people kill Uber Lilith. You like to get the achievement. Oh, I kill Uber Lilith. Oh, but you kill her with a stupid build. You didn't do the mechanics, so you didn't really kill Uber Lilith, you know. But again, the fight is just full of bugs. And even if you remove the bugs, yes, it is a cool fight, in quotes, but brother, what is the fight? She goes up, she goes down, she spawns spikes that one-shot you, she summons two dudes, then she goes away, she comes back, she keeps summoning the blood boils, you dodge red dots, and that's the fight. That's the best fight in the game. I don't believe it is such a great boss, brother. I believe they could have done it so much better. And we are not talking about the other bosses in the game, because the dungeon bosses suck dick.
If those had been removed, if the game came out, let's say today, without the stupid bulwark build from the druid, if that finally got nerfed or something, and there was no barber, and then every class had to fight Uber Lilith, it would be much more fair. It would be something closer to like a world first race in WoW. But you know, over time in WoW, the raids have gotten a lot harder, and Blizzard can make bosses. So whenever they decide to do more of that content, that is something that Blizzard can.
It is not the same thing, brother. It is not the same thing. In WoW, there are awesome bosses. Even in dungeons, in a small scale dungeon, there are awesome bosses. But that is another thing. We don't know if the Diablo team can create cool bosses, and so far they have not impressed me, brother.
And I think Uber Lilith was not really to blame. It was all the other bugs in the builds that was ruining the experience.
Do you think that, okay, let's say the
hitboxes, brother. Mention the hitboxes.
5 new bosses come out. Let's say they're all Uber Lilith level, where maybe there's some bugs or some cheesy stagger builds or something that kills. Sure, there's some unethical shit. But let's just say they're 5 decently designed bosses, pretty enjoyable, more manageable for the average person.
I will bet that the ratio of new bosses to reuse bosses will be at least 3 reuse and 2 news, or 4 reuse and 1 new with the vampire bullshit. You know, probably something like that. They won't create all new bosses. Now, what do I want from these bosses? I want these bosses to spawn something like you start killing one of them at what, level 60, level 65, level 70, and then you rotate them until level 100 if you want to farm something, whatever, or even if they are a cool way of getting experience if you don't want to just grind Nightmare Dungeons. And I want them to be fairly difficult, like Elias, brother. Elias is the best boss in Diablo 4. Elias from the Fallen Temple, the dungeon, the second capstone dungeon, that is the best boss in Diablo 4, not Uber Lilith. Elias is a challenge, brother. If you don't go prepared, if you don't know the fight, you are going to get your ass kicked, brother. Give me bosses like that for these capstone dungeons, and not that they are just a cakewalk, but that also they are farmable, so there is an in-between in there. That is what I want from these bosses, and maybe give me one of them is a pinnacle boss like Uber Lilith, and the other 4 are stepping stones to get there, you know. But that you can keep going back to them. Maybe they scale with you, so if you are level 100 you can keep going back to them. It would be cool.
Still don't think the average guy is clearing Uber Lilith, you know what I mean? It takes a little bit of commitment, right? So if those 5 bosses come out, we can farm Uber uniques from them. They're like pinnacle bosses, and
with the Uber unique thing, brother, they have to adjust the drop rate, because they say that you can target farm the Uber unique with the bosses, but maybe they just mean that the Uber unique is going to be on the drop rate, on the drop list of that boss. So yes, this boss drops dips, but if they don't give it more drop rate, then you are the same. What does it matter if this boss has the possibility of dropping it if he's never going to drop it? They have to adjust the drop rate too, and we don't know that yet. I think they will do it, but we don't know for sure.
In terms of level of enjoyability, you know, and somewhat difficulty, but hopefully not as hard. Do you think 5 in-game bosses is going to be enough content for people to come back and like actually, you know, play for a season? You know, you think that's enough?
No. The reason why is I think the answer is secretly hidden in your description of the question.
Okay.
Uber Lilith is unobtainable for the average player still.
True. Yeah.
So if they added 5 bosses at Uber Lilith's level, what content did they add for the average player? The health of the game.
Exactly. That is why I said you have to start killing them at level 60, something like that. Because then you interact with the new system, and you can do something else in the game that just going Nightmare Dungeons. So, but even then, even if you start interacting with these new bosses at level 60 or even earlier, I don't know how they are going to do, and this is just a supposition. It is not enough, because what if you target farm, let's say, of course, the item that we want to target farm, that is the Tempest Roar, or maybe they come up with a new unique in this new season that we want to target farm, or the Uber uniques are obtainable, they are attainable. We go and target farm, we get the item, there is nothing else to do in the boss. So we are going back to grinding Nightmare Dungeons. That is why I don't believe this is enough to grab people and to keep them committed to getting level 100. But they are building it, you know. If the third season come, you already have 5 bosses, maybe they introduce a couple more. They say that with leaderboards they are introducing a new activity, then you get a new activity. So maybe season by season we are building little by little an end game, and we can get a level at season 3, season 4, a robust end game that we can commit to. Is this the perfect scenario? Of course not, but by season 4 maybe a lot of people are already uninstalled and said I am never installing this piece of shit again. But what can you do? It is better to get it than to not get it. We already paid for this bullshit. I would prefer to get it.
Of any game is determined by the fun and enjoyment of the average player. If you add 5 more pieces that they can't reach, that is nowhere near enough. We need an endgame system like Last Epoch, or Path of Exile, or Torchlight, any of them. The second you hit the max level in the campaign, you are instantly doing an endgame activity which is rewarding you greatly. Blizzard's take on that might be, well, you can go do Nightmare Dungeons, and you can start leveling up your glyphs, and you can start getting your Paragon. It is true, but for some reason, it just doesn't quite feel as fun. It feels a little bit discombobulated. It's not connected in building an Atlas tree. It's not connected in clearing.
Diablo 4 endgame sucks, brother. Well, there is no endgame. And what he's saying doesn't even happen in Diablo 4, because the campaign, you can complete the campaign at what? Level 40. At level 40, you are not going to go do Nightmare Dungeons, right? Because most people, I know that blasters go and complete the capstone dungeon at that level and go and do Nightmare Dungeons right away. But most people follow the direction of the game where they tell you, hey, complete this at level 50. So you still have to level on World Tier 1 or World Tier 2 to get to level 50 to do the capstone dungeon to get to the end game. So a lot of people might not even go into the end game after finishing the campaign, brother.
A monolith. It's not connected in upgrading a timeline and killing a boss like in Torchlight.
He mentioned the monolith is the endgame in Last Epoch, and the Atlas is the endgame in PoE, for those that don't know. I haven't interacted with those systems. I haven't gotten that far in those games, but I know that they are called that.
It's all just so random. So
would you say that, so let's say that if every time you did a Nightmare Dungeon, it gave you something towards one of these Atlas trees. Let's say they had like a Path of Exile Atlas tree type of situation where you can modify the Nightmare Dungeons or something to progress. Would that make you feel the content we're already doing repetitively, such as the Nightmare Dungeons, doesn't feel as bad anymore because you have a reason for its existence? Sort of in the same way, like maybe having the 9-to-5 job doesn't feel good, but you know, having like a wife and kids that you're taking care of does feel good. So like the meaning to the job somewhat has more. I know it's probably a bad cross example, but it's the one that comes to mind. So would Nightmare Dungeons be saved in their current iteration if they're rewarded something out of it that actually continued otherwise progression of the game that isn't so repetitive in nature?
I want to say something before hearing the Raxx answers, to not let his answer influence mine. But he asked, in its current iteration, will it save it? No, I don't think so. But if you do little, it would help it. Of course, it would help it. But with little modifications, it could be awesome. For example, if you do something like the Atlas in Path of Exile or the Monolith in Last Epoch, that you can select paths on a tree or a labyrinth or whatever you want to call it, and you intertwine that between activities, like let's say you select, oh, I want to do a Nightmare, you have an option between a Nightmare Dungeon and a boss, and you select, and then you have an option between doing a run in Helltide and do a Nightmare Dungeon. It is still bullshit, because these are the same activities that we have, but it will make the experience better. You can choose what you wanna do. They attach rewards to those things. It will be better, and of course, intertwine it with bosses. Bosses are important in this, brother. They are not going to do it, but it will improve it.
Nature.
My answer to that would be absolutely. And the reason why is I'm going to let you in on a secret. We might have to mute it to chat. We might have to mute it to the world. So we can't let this get out. But we do the same thing in every game. Clearing maps and clearing dungeon or clearing monoliths in Last Epoch, and clearing the timelines in Torchlight, and clearing Nightmare Dungeons in Diablo is the same thing. There's slightly different variations, and Path of Exile does some interesting things, like they put like side areas and the different mechanics in it. They probably do the best job in actually trying to change up what happens when you enter in there. So props to Path of Exile for that one, but it's pretty much just the same.
Because the Atlas Tree influences the map, influences what happens. Nightmare Dungeons are always the fucking same
thing. So it is very, to me, it's very much based upon how fun it is to do that activity, the reward, and as you're alluding to, what you are striving for. How does me run?
By the way, he's talking about rewards. The rewards in Nightmare Dungeons are not that bad in terms of items. You get 2 legendaries at the end of the dungeon and 2 rares, and those legendaries could be uniques. I believe those are good rewards. But the other reward, which is basically the motivation to do the Nightmare Dungeon, are the glyphs experience. And I believe the glyph experience in Nightmare Dungeon suck. It is too little experience. Give me more, brother. You have to do a lot of Nightmare Dungeons to get the glyph to level 20. So if they give me another activity to level up, I will still have to grind Nightmare Dungeons out of my ass to be able to level the glyph to level 20 if I want to, because the experience is too little. Both the experience of glyphs, brother.
Running these 100 Nightmare Dungeons, how does that come together in some great fashion to make me feel like I've done something great? Can I target farm here? Can I build up a power here? Da-da-da-da-da. It just does not exist for Diablo 4, but there's a system in every other game. I think that's why that's part of the reason why Nightmare Dungeons are getting killed. Another one of the reasons is because you couldn't port into them, and then when they implemented the fix that you could port into them, it didn't port you into them, it ported you outside of them.
Yeah.
Which is stupid. Everybody complains about this, and with all the reason. You get 2 loading screens back to back, which is annoying as fuck. Why don't you get inside or away? They say that it is because they don't want you to get you into combat instantly, but you can give me a bubble or something to protect me at the start of the dungeon. That is no excuse, brother. It is just lazy. It is stupid. I don't know why you do it like that. But Raxx, I don't believe that is one of the reasons that Nightmare Dungeons are boring. Of course, it cuts down time when you have to run to the dungeon. Of course, it helps. But people are not doing Nightmare Dungeons because you get ported to the outside. It is because it is boring doing 100 Nightmare Dungeons back to back to back to back to back.
And then you had to walk in.
True. I actually kind of don't understand that one, because they obviously can port. The text got to be there to port you right in, right? I think it must have just been like a bypass of thought, because I actually didn't think anything about it until we actually started playing it. It's like a play testing thing. I didn't actually catch that one. And then I played it and I was like, oh, why? I don't like the double loading screen. Like, I teleport outside. And what would happen is I would lag sometimes because everyone's teleporting to the same Nightmare Dungeon. So when the game was still somewhat popping, I'd teleport to like one of the most popular dungeons that we were refarming over and over again. And there'd be a lot of people there that actually lag. So I don't know if you experienced that at all, but that was more of like the power leveling grind thing of the like Champions Demise and stuff. There'd be a lot of people there and you start to lag. So maybe it was something that like snuck by where they weren't really thinking about the double loading, but the double loading screen seems like basically completely unnecessary.
Yeah, I think what happened here, and the internet constantly assigns this mistake to, I'm guessing, Blizzard and a lot of other developers incorrectly. A lot of people will say, oh, they just gave a Band-Aid fix. They didn't even think about it. They don't care, da-da-da-da-da. They thought this was good and it was actual dog shit. But actually, I think that this was may be actually a real case of that. And the reason why is I think they realized that people were very unhappy with their main endgame system. And the whole, I know that the team internally
There is no endgame,
felt
bro.
very, very strongly about the open world. You should ride around on your mount in the open world slowly to get to the nightmare dungeons, and that gameplay experience is going to be fun. Well, it wasn't, and they had to fix it immediately, which is where this kind of band-aid fix came from.
I understand what he's saying here, and he's right. I believe they originally, on their minds, they didn't want to give you the port to the Nightmare Dungeon. They wanted you to go on the horse to the Nightmare Dungeon because you have this beautiful world, you have to experience it. And when they announced that they were going to give the TP, of course, the vast majority of players supported the decision, but there was a small amount of players that didn't like it because of exactly these reasons, or because, getting the teleport is just lazy, I like going on my horse or whatever. Well, I wasn't of that small group. I believe the TP is cool. I don't want to go on my horse 100 times. Maybe unlock the TP by going once. If you want me to go there, well, you have to unlock the TP going once. They didn't do it. I am just saying. And now you can just teleport to the dungeons. I am fine with that decision, not a big deal. And you don't really need to go every time to appreciate the world, brother. I unlock the world because you have to do it to get the map for future seasons. I got my altars of Lilith or whatever. I enjoy the world. I already experienced the world. It is a beautiful world. I love it. You did an awesome job. If you give me a reason to go there again, I will do it, but it must be a cool reason, a fun reason, a rewarding reason. But I believe that the first time you explore the map, it is a good reason enough. The map is beautiful, but you don't have to take me there every single time.
And it wasn't fun for a lot of reasons. The horse sucks. It gets scared all the time.
It totally sucks.
It can't walk around anything. Gets stuck on everything. Can't go through barricades. And the overworld.
The CVs on the horse are also stupid. If you mount on your horse, you have to wait too long to use your skill. I know that they don't want you to go on the horse skill, the skill where you dismount, you know, that you hit. But brother, it is too long, and if you got scared, it is too long to get back on the horse. If you yourself go down on the horse, it is too long to get back on the horse. It is stupid.
Activities still to this day are by far the least valuable.
I do not understand this at all, Raxx. I don't get what they were thinking with this, because you made a game that doubles down on social dynamic with zero reason to have it, and then you made a game with an open world where open world shit. So it's like, social is great in these games. I wish there was a reason for me to give a fuck when I see somebody in the open world. And then,
brother, I made a video about this. You wanna make social great? Raids, brother. Bosses that you have to kill with a full party of 4 people. That would be awesome. That gives a reason for guilds, for clans to mean something, because they are useless right now. Make PvP better. That will also improve the social aspect. Do cool things like that. Of course, leaderboards improve the social aspect too. That is cool stuff. I don't believe the open world is shit, because it is beautiful, it is cool, but after you explore it and you are on your end game loop, which is just blasting Nightmare Dungeons, which is no end game, you don't have a reason to be there. So yes, that also needs to be improved. Give me a reason to go to the open world if you want people to experience it more.
then I wish there was a reason for me not to run the same dungeon over and over again and walk around. They put so much work into the art, the design of the open world, these cool events that are RNG that pop up out of, nowhere. It's cool. But then I actually feel like I am actively being stupid if I stop to do an event. It's an event. It should be something I'm excited. Oh.
And not only on the open world, in dungeons too. If I am going through a dungeon and I see an event, I immediately run out. Events are stupid. I don't want to do this event inside this dungeon. I just want to complete the dungeon. So yes, I feel the same way. And whenever I do an event inside a dungeon, I feel stupid. Yes, exactly the same way.
Yay. an event. But I actually feel like the joke's on me if I decide to do an event in the open world. I feel like I'm the idiot. So it's not like oboes matter. So I don't understand what the point of like putting so much emphasis on the social system, so much so that stash tabs are literally an issue because of it. And then we have an open world that seems to be 90% of the reason to have the game, but then we don't use either of these systems. There's not, like, the clan system is literally worthless. It's a friends list. So I don't know if you got a feeling on that one, but it's like, those are the two things that strike to me that I have yet to figure out. It's like, especially the social one, honestly, there's zero reason for anything remotely so.
You build an MMO-like system, in quotes, you know. You force me to be online, you give me clans, you make me watch people on the open world, but then you do nothing with that. Brother, give me the raids, give me the bosses with parties, brother, where people have roles. You have the dude that staggers the boss, you have the dude that gives auras and crits or whatever, and then you have two blasters. Give me that experience, motherfucker. Give me boss mechanics that can't be done by only one people, but you have to have people collaborating to be able to clear the mechanics, and then you have a social aspect. Then clans are useful to build your parties, brother.
Social.
I mean, that's exactly what I was going to say. The point that you made, I was going to bring up 2 points. The clan system, it doesn't have any meaning. In World of Warcraft, the clan that you were in meant everything. You did the raids together.
If you are in WoW and you want to raid, even normal raiding, if your guild sucks, your experience raiding will suck. So if you want to raid, you need a guild, brother. Not really a good or great guild, but an acceptable guild.
You know, there was a lockout, you progressed together, you were ranked on a, you know, third-party leaderboard together. It was literally a band of brothers and sisters just working toward a common goal every day. You become friends. Like, you can make a lot of, you know, real solid.
And again, all of that revolves around raiding. So if you introduce raiding to Diablo 4, that can come in too. And again, you don't have to make this, I said this in my video, you don't have to make these overcomplicated raids with 10 bosses and a lot of trash, and you go in there with 8 people. No, brother, make this a 1 or 2 boss thing, or a 1 boss with 3 faces thing, and you go with 4 people, and that's it. That would be awesome.
Solid relationships from the raiders and WoW if you stick together for years. This supposedly social MMO-esque Diablo 4 game not only doesn't have a social system at all in terms of a real social system like clans, but have you tried trading in Diablo 4? How would you do that? The best
I have done it because I believe that trading is the way that you get your absolute beast, brother, your best in a slot. If you wanna go for the ultra best in a slot possible for your build, you go to trading, brother. I did it, and you know how you do it. You go to a Discord channel or a website, and you do the trading by there to find the item that you want, and to sell the items that you don't want, to get gold, to be able to buy the ones that you want. And all of that takes a long time, and it is stupid, brother. And I know they are not going to do an auction house, which is bullshit, or give us a way to I don't know, to trade inside the game, to find people, to find items. Because right now it is stupid, and it is the best way to get up, brother.
The best trading thing that I've seen by far is Diablo.trade. You go to a third-party website, and they do all the trading for you. It's like,
and every time you have to go, every time you have to go outside of the game to use a tool, it sucks. That sucks. That is stupid. I don't like doing that in any game. For example, in Path of Exile, the trading is also done outside of the game, and I think it sucks. And you have to go to the path of building thing. I also think that it sucks. That should be inside of the game. In WoW, you also have bullshit outside of the game. A lot of games have this, and every time it happens, I think it sucks.
supposed to be our outdoor, tradey, social Diablo, and what it has turned into is, well, people really want the instanced nightmare dungeons, and maybe they wouldn't mind doing the open world again, as you said, if it was rewarding to do so, if it didn't actively hurt you to play that way, but it does.
Exactly.
Well, it seems to me like the only
It is
reason
a
to
waste
trade
of
would be to
time.
trade like the uniques you can't get your hands on. So you have a spare Tempest Roar. You could probably get some gold for that, right? But you can't trade uniques or legendaries. So if you get a perfect row aspect and you have 15 of them, it doesn't.
I'm actually not that mad that you can't trade uniques. I believe that is fine if you can attain them. You know, if you can obtain them, it is fine. But when you have things like Uber uniques or at the low drop rate that Tempest Roar has, it gives you like, well, I wish I could trade for this. But I don't think that is necessarily bad. Now that they are going to introduce these bosses, if these bosses can give you a way of getting these items, it will matter less. And with normal trading, you can just get your rares for to craft your legendaries, and you'll get your best items.
Like, there's no reason to get the drop. Whereas in Path of Exile, I get an item, and it's like, oh, I don't need this item, but this is a pretty good item.
Oh yes, I understand what he's saying indeed, and he's right on this. Now, with the current system, the problem is, yes, to get the item that you want, it doesn't matter. You can wait for the drop. The problem is when you get other uniques that you don't want. What do you do with them? Disencant them for basically nothing, or selling them for 200,000 gold, I believe they are worth. When, if you will go and sell them, you will get a lot more than that. I understand what he's saying here.
Item. Like, I know I immediately can
And I
get some
agree.
currency that then I can put into my other, my other items. So maybe if they added a crafting system, then trading might innately get better in Diablo 4 because you have reason to have yellows and craft yellows into something else or rework the items that maybe yellows have more value. But since we can't trade uniques or legendaries, the actual rare stuff doesn't matter. And I don't know when's the last time literally anyone needed to buy a yellow item in order to progress in Diablo 4. Like, it's not that hard. You don't really need to trade for items. I've literally never had to trade for an item ever.
I mean, you can get 95% BIS items just playing the game to 100 if you just look at the gear that drops. Yeah, you don't need to trade for anything unless it's absolutely perfect.
Exactly, that is what I said. You cannot trade, but if you want to go to the absolute perfect, like, oh, I have, for example, you have everything maxed out, and on your last item you have something like 25% crit damage, and that is the higher range, and you have it at 24, so you need that 1 extra percent, and finding that item with all the extra affixes matching can be annoying. You go to the trade site and you buy it, and that's it, with the 25%. That is like to get your absolute beast. Of course, you don't need to do that, but that is to take it to the maximum possible level. But yes, the whole itemization system in Diablo 4 sucks. The whole trading system sucks. The way they handle trading and the social aspect of trading sucks. All of that sucks, and it needs work, brother.
There's something about like not being able to trade them, which impacts me personally. It probably impacts other people. This is probably a much smaller thing, but I'll bring it up since we're talking about it anyway. On my first, so I have two 100 druids. On my first 100 druid, I found 7 Tempest Roars. I was counting them because every time I found one, and every time I had to go salvage it or vendor it for 200,000
I
gold,
only got one.
every druid in my chat was, they had a box of puffs next to their desk to dry their tears because, every time every time you vendor a Tempest Roar, it just kills a druid in chat inside that's never going to get one.
True, brother. True.
Then I leveled up the hardcore druid and I found 6 of them. So I averaged 6.5 Tempest Roars, 1 to 100, and I got plenty
How
of them that's
lucky
saying
can
I'm
you
95
be?
and I don't have one. I would love. It's a good feeling for me, not fishing for viewers, not fishing for subs. It would just make me feel good as a person if I could say, every druid type 1 in chat. I'm gonna throw you into a random number generator. I'm gonna give one of you a Tempest Roar. Just take it. I don't want no trade. Don't give me anything.
It would be cool if you could do that. It would be awesome.
And then you can go to Chipotle for dinner and enjoy it, and everyone's gonna be happy. I would like,
would be really
if I get
cool.
a Shaco, I'll probably wear it. But if I get another one, I would love to give it away. I mean, to me, that's fun. But you can't do that in this game.
So I saw
is
this,
fun
when
and
we were
cool.
talking about this, someone else mentioned, like, how do you feel about the 17 damage meme? You had probably the most well-known
Awesome
D4 meme
awesome
for a minute
meme.
there, being compared to the Druid damage of 17 damage. That was a good. You got an emote for this one too, don't you on your channel, right?
Yeah, Raxx 17. I gotta be honest. I just, with every fiber in my being, I just absolutely love that. I just love
Of course, why
everything
wouldn't you
about
love
how
it? It is awesome.
unimaginably stupid it is. I just, I just look like an absolute piece of shit.
And
I'm
it is
just,
immortalized, brother. As a druid player, I know that the 17 damage meme is going to follow me until I die. And it is cool, brother. It is an awesome meme.
disgusted. Asmongold is laughing at me. The internet's laughing at me simultaneously. The internet's crying for me. It's just, it's just the best, man. I love everything about it. I'm okay with being known as a 17 damage guy. It is who I am.
That was a pretty good one. God, that one went everywhere right in the beginning of it. I saw that literally everywhere. I'll put a link down to the channel. Your boy is going to go live, Raxx, today. I'm assuming because every day for 10 years, right? You're what, a third of the way through? 4 years in, if I remember right?
Just hit 4.5 years. Let's try to do another 5.5.
There we go. All right.
A man of sheer fucking will. Hasn't missed a day in almost 5 years. That is commitment, brother. That is discipline, dude. We can learn a thing or two from Raxx with this commitment, brother.
All right, boys. I'm going to spam the link in there. Go follow our boy. And appreciate the chat.
Love you guys. Thank you. And I'll see you later. If you want to check out Last Epoch, come over there. And I'm definitely going to be watching DM playing some Diablo 2. That game is the GOAT. Everybody knows it.
Have a good one.
You too. Later.
Bye-bye.
I'm also considering trying to play more of Last Epoch, brother. Hey guys, this was an awesome video, brother. I like both of these guys. The conversation was cool. They brought up some cool topics. Their answers and their opinions are mostly on point. So I believe this was a cool video, and we talk about a lot of bullshit, brother. I don't know how I make videos that long. The video is 17 minutes and I have 40 minutes talking bullshit in here, brother. But it was an awesome video, brother. Darth Microtransaction and Raxx and Terrax, awesome video. Thank you guys for all of this. So guys, let me know in the comments below what you think about all of this, what was being discussed, what you think about all of this. I love reading comments, brother. Thanks for being here. Remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, all that cool stuff. We upload videos all the time, and we cover Diablo 4 and other ARPG games. Thanks for being here, guys. You guys are fucking awesome. God bless ya. And remember, as a great Bill Hicks said, this is just a ride.